Okay, so I haven't made a video in a couple weeks, but I wanted to make a short video about everything that I grew this year and kind of my recommendations on them in case any of you guys wanted to grow them. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about next year and what I want to do. So, and sorry, I have my camera plugged in right now because it was almost dead whenever I started this, so we'll spin the cord out of the way. But I'll start out with the squash, and these I all got from Jung Seeds. And we'll start with the Chicago awarded squash. It was a Hubbard squash, and it grew really well. But the only thing is what happened is that I had a lot of them, but I didn't pick them in time, and they rotted very, very quickly because of the heat. So they're not very heat tolerant at all, and they rotted very quickly and easily. So I like them, but I'd like to give it another try, but they just rotted too quick for me. And then the carnival squash, their little acorn squash, they grew a lot of them, but some kind of disease got them, and the plants ended up dying, but I got probably 12 off of 5 plants, so they had pretty high yield, so they did pretty well. The Turk's turban squash did not do very well at all. I didn't get any of them, and I'd like to try them again because I do like them, but they did not grow at all. And then the spaghetti squash that those I got from Gurney Seeds. They grew, but I harvested about 3 of them because the weeds really took over that patch, and they just didn't do very well with the heat either. For the gourds, I had the speckled swan. I got those from Jung Seeds. I really like those. They did really, really well this year, considering the drought and how long it took them, because it took them forever to sprout. But they finally did, and they ended up growing really, really well. They didn't get as big as they did last year, but I was still happy with them. The apple gourds, they didn't get too big, but they did a lot better than last year, and I got a lot of them. So I really like those. And then for the miniature gourds, I grew on the fences, like the autumn wings gourds, autumn wings, and the small mix of gourds. I really like growing those. They're very easy to grow. They can pretty much grow in any condition, and they're very easy to grow, and I like them. They have a lot of different varieties in there. The birdhouse gourds I got from Jung Seeds too, and they did better than last year, I thought. So they were bigger, and I got a lot more of them. So hopefully I'll be making some more birdhouses next year with that. But yeah, I did like those. Then over here in the pumpkins, we have the Rumbo Squash Pumpkin. I don't know if it's a pumpkin or a squash. It says it's a pumpkin, I got about 5 of those. So they did pretty well. The Jamboree, I did not get any of those. They did not grow well for me at all. I did not get any Cinderella pumpkins. Well, that's the fancy name, I guess you could say, but they're Cinderella pumpkins. I didn't get any of those. The Howden Biggie and the Wolf pumpkins both grew in the same patch, and they did not grow at all. Weeds really took over that patch, and they just didn't grow, and they ended up dying, and the bugs got to them, and it was a bad deal. So I probably won't grow Howden Biggie or Wolf again. I just wanted to try those 2 though, but I probably won't grow those again. And then let's see, we have the peanut pumpkins, which that's also the fancy name for the peanut pumpkins. I didn't get any of those. The plants grew fine, but I didn't get any pumpkins because that was also in the patch that got taken over by weeds and wasn't good. The miniature pumpkins, the Jack B. Little and the Baby Boo, they did very, very well. Especially the Baby Boo. Last year, my Baby Boos didn't do that well, but they did a lot better this year. And the Jack B. Littles did okay, but I'd like to order my Jack B. Littles from Jung Seeds next year, because I've ordered my Jack B. Littles from Gurney's for the past 2 years, and I haven't been too thrilled with it. But this year, I was really happy with the Baby Boos that I got from Jung, so I think that if I order the Jack B. Littles from Jung next year, it'll be a little bit better, but we'll see. And then the World of Color pumpkins, the large World of Color and the small World of Color, I didn't get any of those. I don't know what the deal with that was, but I was really disappointed in those. I want to try Small World of Color again, but I don't know. I I can never get white pumpkins to grow, and I guess I just can't get the Small World of Color to grow either. But I would really, really like to try it again because they seem like a really cool type. They seem like cool types of pumpkins, but I just couldn't get any to grow. The vines were just very weak, and I don't know. And then for the pumpkin patch, so the Phantom Hybrid Pumpkin, those were the best pumpkins that I grew this year. They were very big. They grew a lot of them. They grew a lot of big pumpkins, and that's always a plus because if you get usually in grow pumpkins, if you get bigger pumpkins, you don't get as many. But I got a lot of big pumpkins with the Phantom Hybrid, so I'd really recommend Phantom Hybrid. They're from Jung Seeds. They are pretty aggressive, but they're very, very high yielding and they're very nice sized. They are about 15 to 20 pounds, so they are pretty big, but they are very, very nice pumpkins. Same thing with the Howden pumpkins. I was very impressed with those too. I got those from Jung Seeds, and I really, really liked the quality of those. They weren't as big as the Phantom Hybrids, but they were very nice size, and I will definitely be growing Phantom Hybrid and Howden again next year. The Gurney's Giant Magic Hybrid Pumpkins, they did pretty well. I didn't get too many of them, but I was a little disappointed in them too, but I don't know if I'll grow them again next year. But definitely Phantom Hybrid and Howden will be back there. Sorry, my throat's all froggy today. But Connecticut Field, that was also in the pumpkin patch, and I don't think I'll grow those again. I grew those 2 years in a row, and I just kind of was just a little disappointed in them both times. So probably not those. But I think that's all that I grew this year. And for the recommendations, yeah, I definitely recommend that Phantom Hybrid Pumpkins, the Howden Pumpkins. But if you have a smaller garden, probably the Howden Pumpkins. They seem a little bit less aggressive than the Phantom Hybrid. Phantom Hybrids were really aggressive. They were huge leaves. They were just big plants. So if you've got a smaller garden, probably not the Phantom Hybrid, but more of the Howden. Next year, I want to grow some different things. I want to try the Small World of Color again. I'm gonna end up doing the Phantom Hybrid and the Howden pumpkins again. I'll probably do all my same gourds, the Birdhouse, the Speckled Swan, and the Speckled Apple gourds. I want to try to do Turk's Turban squash again and the Hubbard squash. I'd like to try the vegetable or the spaghetti squash. I don't know why I keep saying vegetable, but the spaghetti squash. I'll probably do a little bit less next year than this year, just because next year is going to be a very busy summer. Like I'm going on a lot of trips next year. I have already kind of known that now. A lot of school trips, but yeah. But next year, I want to try to do those. I can't think what they call it. Goosebump pumpkins. I can't really think. They're from Jung Seeds and they have like bumps on them. I want to try to grow those. I want to try to grow just a white variety again. I tried those in 2011 and didn't have any luck with them, but I want to try them again. I want to try Small World of Color again. Not too many different types of squash. Like I said, probably Turk's Turban and Hubbard squash again. But what new I'd like to try would be the Goosebump pumpkins and also there's some gourds called Lunch Lady gourds and they're really big gourds. They're really different color. They're really cool. I want to probably grow those again, but it's hard to tell right now all I want to find out. But I will probably do the same thing I did this year with kind of the different patches, and I'd like to make the pumpkin patch a little bit bigger. Don't really know if that's possible with having other patches around it, but I could maybe sacrifice one to get more pumpkins, but that's pretty much it for this video for the recommendations and what all I want to do next year. And I'm still not done with this year. I'll still have the Halloween videos about like the little pumpkins I'll carve out there, and also I'm going to show you the little fall display out there probably next week, since Halloween is like in a week and a half away now. But that's pretty much it for this video. But if you have any questions about anything that I grew, just ask me, comment, or send me a message and I'll be happy to answer it. And I'll get back with you on this in a couple weeks. So I'll talk to you then.